In advance of his forthcoming visit to the UK later this year, Pope Benedict has made an announcement regarding British equality legislation in which he describes the protection of gay people under the British legal system as running contrary to natural law. Presumably that's the natural law which supports Catholic clergy raping children with complete immunity from the criminal law, which we all know he, as Cardinal Ratzinger, was an avid proponent. In a typical example of religious doublethink, Batty Ben praises Britain's firm commitment to equality for all, yet bemoans the taking away of the right to discriminate against people on the grounds of religious belief. And if that makes sense to him, I really think he needs to start wearing a looser hat. The prospect of children being placed with loving parents who happen to be gay has caused the Catholic Church such concern that they've apparently closed half of their adoption agencies in the UK. Although, given the Catholic Church's history concerning children placed in their care, either with the parish or in children's care homes and orphanages, these kids are probably a lot better off. If nothing else, routine rapings and beatings by priests and nuns who are seemingly immune from prosecution are hopefully less common outside of the Catholic Church's agencies. The papal comments have generated outrage from MPs and campaigners, with one notable exception. Prime Minister Gordon Brown said that he respected the Pope, but that commenting would be inappropriate. Well, thanks to the support, Gordy. Perhaps we should rename him Gordon Yellow, because whenever something controversial pops its head over the parapet, he promptly pisses himself and runs for cover. He really is an utter twat. The Pope's visit later this year will cost the British taxpayer an estimated £20 million. Which means that people like me here in the UK are helping to foot the bill for someone who will come here and attack our rights to be treated fairly and equally. Someone who has condemned us as a greater threat to humanity than the destruction of the rainforests. Catholic MP Anne Widdecombe has claimed that this isn't a debate about homosexuality, it's a debate about religious freedom. The freedom of religious people to discriminate and be exempt from the laws that protect other UK citizens from being discriminated against. That argument is rubbish. It's no different from arguing that the BNP should be exempt from race equality legislation because, this is not an issue of race, it's an issue of political and ideological freedom. There are plenty of people out there who make the argument that denying them the right to oppress other people is somehow a violation of their freedom. And in their minds it actually makes sense to them. They don't seem to understand that when it comes to making a decision on freedom and equality, the right of the oppressor to oppress and discriminate is trumped by the oppressed's right to equality and freedom from oppression. That we're inviting this criminal into our country with open arms is something I find horrifying. And I'll certainly be there to protest during the visit and make it known that not everyone in this country wants him here. That there are some people here in the UK who don't think that superstition is more important than fairness and equality. People here who don't think that it's okay for Catholic clergy to rape and beat children and get away with it scot-free, unlike Cardinal Ratzinger, who aided and abetted them in covering up their crimes. People who don't want the head of a multi-billion-pound business empire and political organisation to come here and spread hatred, bigotry and intolerance, any more than we want one of the heads of Al-Qaeda to come here and do the same. Still, if Pope Benedict is that keen on disregarding people's rights on the basis of religious belief and tradition, it'd be interesting to hear how he'd feel about resurrecting the good old Protestant English tradition of burning Catholic clergy at the stake whenever they're found on our soil. I have the funny feeling he wouldn't be too keen on protecting that particular expression of religious freedom.